Welcome to TradingLounge and the US indices, but we'll also be looking at some US stocks. So on the New York side, we'll look at a few banks, and on the Nasdaq side, we'll look at some of the big francs. So with the S&P 500 here, there is a case here now for this wave 5, which is a minor degree here in orange and intermediate degree in blue here, that we've actually got a top in place. So we need a strategy to look at a short position there. But that said, there's still a case for further upside here as well, and we need to present a case for that, and we need a strategy for that too. But in a nutshell, in the bigger picture here, we've got wave 3 and wave 4 of primary degree, and then we're going up for wave 5 of primary degree here, which will take us into 2018, mid or late or something of that nature, depending on how complicated wave 4 gets here. Because wave 2 was quite simple, then we need to look at wave 4 here being a little bit more complex, so it could be time consuming in that case. At this stage here, as mentioned, we're looking at this from this wave 4 to this wave 5, moving up here. And with this wave 4 low here, I might just go into the daily chart and pick that thread up there. With this here, with this wave 4 here, there's been a bit of dilemma to either put it here or here. So that makes the difference and throws the wave count out somewhat. If it's put here, then we can count as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then extension in wave 5 to finish here. If we put it over here, then we can count this in a couple of ways. We can count this as a series of 1s and 2s in here and moving up, or we could also count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1. So all of this wave 1 and 2 here, then wave 3 here, and then wave 4, and then wave 5 coming up here. And that's pretty much the sort of case we've got with banks. So if I could just bring a bank across here, this is Morgan's here on a daily chart. In here we've got wave 1 and 2 here and wave 3 here. It's going to be skewed at $100 because 1 is the strongest number in the market, followed by 5, then 8. So, we can expect it to stall here before moving up here. And this is also the same for Goldman Sachs as well, if I can just put that on the daily chart here as well. Looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 to move up, and wave 4 to 5 to finish its structure to the upside. So there is a case for this to move up, and I have to say that the Nasdaq is can be counted like this as well. Of course, some of the stocks in the Nasdaq, you can get some of them running quite similar, like Amazon and Google. Perhaps we'll look at those. But you've got Apple doing its sort of own thing, and Facebook doing its own thing, but also being part of the major trend, but internally slightly different. There is this case to finish 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here to get to this wave 3 here. So coming across to the S&P here, if I go to the case that I've just presented with the US banks, and which is much the same as the Nasdaq as well, and I just go into, I've got it on the 6-hour chart here, then it would present it like this here. So in this case here, I've got, as I mentioned before, it's this wave 4 that's a tricky little guy here. It could go here and create a beautiful ABC correction. It could go here and create a triangle pattern in Elliott terms. So if it's here, in this alternative count here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, then wave 1 and 2, and then wave 3 and 4 and 5, and so, still moving to the upside. We can investigate this further. But on the if I just use the 4-hour chart here, this is the one that we're looking at here. In this case, we can look at this here as wave 1 here, 4 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then count 5 waves up here to finish this. So what I was suggesting here, if I could just go to the hourly chart here. So basically, before I go, this top here can be wave 3 or can be wave 5. That's the deal here. But I'm thinking it's really wave 3 top here. If I go to the hourly chart here, because at the end of the day we need to trade what we see, and we need to, the Elliott wave is good for to work out a trend and a correction. But at the same time, we need to take trade setups as we see them. So I'm just going to clear this up. And this is what we were looking for here last time. We were looking for a move up to the 8 here. So I'm just going to, that was 2 days ago, so we can just clear that up here now. That's all been achieved. So just bear with me while I do a bit of housework here. Yep. Look, if we're going to short this, then that's the trigger there. Okay. And if this, from this high here to this low here, we'd look for a 61.8% 50 or 60% retracement level. In this case here, we're working with group 2. So group 2, well, for the folks who don't know, 2,500, 25 is the medium level. And the next degree is the 26,000, 2,600 up here. So we've got 100 points here. So we break them up into the Fibonacci numbers here: 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. But when we call 8 here, we've got a little bit more added to that. We call it group 2, so it's the 65, 72, and the 80. And you can really see it playing out here. There's such a valuable set of levels here for any market. So if we look, I'll do this now. We might as well shoot the breeze on this and spend a bit of time on these markets. So this here, we've kind of already reached that. That's the 50-60% retracement level, so we don't need that now. So if that was going to fail, then it would obviously come back down here and bounce a bit and struggle through here and then move down. We don't need this here anymore. So yeah, but look, that would be the short trade setup. Okay, so we leave that. If for whatever reasons you get support on top of this, actually we don't particularly want to. I want to leave that there. We want to copy that. And I'm just going to put this up here. And then, if for whatever reasons, the market moves up and it's done that and then it reacts here and so on. If it finds another high here above the level, that this is the 72 level here, and then moves down, then you can use this as the reference point here. Okay, so let's just sharpen that up a little bit. So that would be the catalyst and the setup there for that reference point. So you have to wait for the first high above the level, then a retest. This retest will come in three waves, but once it's done, if it pushes up through there, then that's the trigger here at that point. So that's what we need to do if we're going to go long, and that's what we need to do if we're going short at this stage. I don't think the tick chart can tell us much more at this stage. Yes, well, this was another slight little bend in the count too, because on the tick chart here, I could count from the low here being wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then all the way up for 3 here, and then 4 here, and then we're looking for the last time we spoke, I think we were here, and we were looking for one more little move up, and that's there. It's possible that this here, it's possible that wave 5's in here, because this little move up through here, it appears to be in 3 waves moving up here. Okay, so what that would mean then, it would mean that this is wave 2 here as wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then this would be 3 here and 4 here and then 5 here. But I got to, I have to present this, and this is what we were looking for here before we spoke last. This is the target that we were looking for once we hit 25.80. We're looking for a move down. So we really need to see this market move up from here. Okay, so if it doesn't move up, that's why we need to short this low here. And just refining that a little bit further here, and I can't draw on this side of the price on a tick chart, so I'll come over here. And the thing is, if I, the market's touched on the 80 here, if it comes down here to the 65, it's going to bounce, it's going to come off there, then it's going to go back under there, it's going to retest that, and then that's your reference point there, and then you're short. Okay, that's what you'd be looking for here. I'm just going to clean this up before I move on here. So yeah, that's what we can do there. So that's really our long and our short trades at this point. But I wouldn't turn bearish unless the 25.65, the lower end of Group 2, has become the retested resistance. And of course, from that point, it will mirror the same move down here. It will move quite quickly down to the 25.50, which is the midpoint, and bounce. So short-term traders can start exiting into Group 1 here, micro Group 1, which would be 25.53 in here. That's where the orders will start building up from in there. Right, I want to go over to the Nasdaq now. So this is what I've got for the Nasdaq on. This is a daily chart. This is the picture here. Yeah, I don't think that this is finished up here for wave 3 yet. I'm looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1, and back for wave 2. The third wave coming in here, I don't think it's finished yet, and then the fourth and the fifth. So this is pretty much the bigger picture here to play out through here. We have been working this on the I don't need to go to the 4-hour. We have been working it on the hourly chart, so I'll just go there. So from the hourly chart here, with this here, is that I'd been looking at this as wave 1 up here and wave 2 here. So then we're looking up for wave 3 here. Okay, so with that in mind, we'll be heading up from here and looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and A and a B and a C for 4, and then up for 5 here for the third wave. Yeah, but at the same time, if I just want to cover all bases. Look, analysis is one thing and trading is another. So the analysis and the trading can bridge together in the actual trade setup. So that's why the trade setup's really important. So the same again in this case here. Let's just say for a moment that that I'm right. We're looking for a market to move up here. So if it was going to move up here, then what we'd want to see is a move up to the resistance here, the 6,100. There would be a reaction here, then there would be the first high above the level, which would also meet the supply through here. It would fold back in some way or another, and if it's going to push up, then it'll push up from there. So you need to wait for all of this to have a nice safe trade, and then you would bring this over to here. On the downside here, once again with the S&P here, if this is going to move with the S&P, then we need to short below this level here. So that's where we can work with that. I'm just going to go into the tick chart here now, because if this, I'll just open this up a bit further here. 1,000 enough? No. 10,000. Okay, so from this wave 2 here, I've got this here pretty clear, I think, for me anyway, but 1 and 2, and then 5 little waves up here for 3, and back for 4 and up for 5 to make wave 1 here and wave 2 here. Then we've got wave 1 and 2 here, then the 5 waves up for 3 and 4 here, and then up for 5 here to make the third. Then we've got an A wave, a B wave into here, and then we've got a C wave, which is always in 5 waves, which will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the C wave here. So I'm thinking that this little structure here, we've got 5 waves moving up here. So look, this is back at the 61.8% mark here. So if this is going to be a positive market, then you know, it really, you know, needs to, oops, I can't draw on that side. It really needs to move up from, you know, from this space here. So taking out this low, or let's just say the 60-70 here, if that becomes a retested resistance there, then you know that it's below the 61.8% mark. Yeah, if that becomes a retested resistance, then you know to short from that point. Okay, so I'll just move that arrow there. But also too, based on this here, I want to go over to the thing that drives this, of course, which are stocks. And if we look at Amazon first, Amazon was quite interesting, and this is the dilemma that I had with Amazon, you know. Don't need two of those. So just expand this up a little bit here. So basically, I could look at this if I remove, just bear with me for a second while I just explain this. I've explained this before, but it's possible to have this as an A wave down to here, a B wave to here, and a C wave to here, and that's wave 4 done and dusted here. And then we look at wave 1 here and wave 2, because we could count 5 waves up here, and then we're looking for a 61.8% mark here, pull back, and we got that. And we're going to investigate that in a moment, okay? So it's possible that this could be the correct count here. So wave 4 here, then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here. The other count for this here is that this can be wave B over here and then wave C over here. So in this case here, we would get a move down to here, move back to here, 3, 4, 5, coming down into this space here for this. Okay, because the move in here makes this an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. So this also presents 5 waves in this structure here. So it can be this way, but I'm kind of happy with this B wave and C wave and wave 4 here. And then this being wave 1 and wave 2 here. Now, what I need to do now is just go into the, I think I've been working on the tick chart here. I'll just check. Yeah, this is really quite a nice picture, really. I like it a lot, because, you know, from that low here, the possible, let's just put that in there, copy that, put that there, and we'll just, won't worry about the C wave. We'll just put this as wave 4 in there. So many buttons to push. It's a nice structure up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I mean, to me, that's a really beautiful picture. And then the move down here so far is in 3 waves. You know, it's basically 5 waves here, 3 waves here for the B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the C wave here. And it's right on the 61.8% mark here. So normally, if I had 5 waves down to the 61.8% mark, because this could still come down and make another low here, do you know what I mean? And that would give us 5 waves. But because if we had 5 waves to the 61.8%, then I'd be bearish at that stage. But I've only got 3 waves to the 61.8% mark. I mean, that's not in textbooks, but that's just from observation over many years. So to me, the bias for this is for it to move higher. And also too, if this was wave 1 here and wave 2 here and wave 3 here, and then we're looking for wave 4, then, well, a couple of things here. Wave 3 would need to be longer, and then wave 4 here can't come into the price territory of wave 1 here, so we'll get overlapping wave structures here. I suppose it could be down for 1 and back for 2, down for 1 and then back for 2 again, as you know, of a smaller degree, and then down. But also what throws me into this here is that this little move up here is presenting itself in 5 waves as well. So wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and this may be even wave 4 here, and then wave 5 here. There's no real rush to go into this. I mean, if you were going to go into this here, let me just No, 4.5, that's fine. So if we look at this, just give me, I put this here and this on the top here, then we can look at this coming back down to this area here. I'll just pop that to the side there. That's where that can come back to at this stage. And I'll just move that. So we don't quite have a setup yet. There's a couple of things here, is that the wave 5 here is a little bit short here. So it's possible this is 1 and 2 and 3 to here, then an A and a B and a C here for 4, and then we go up. I can't draw on this side of the tick chart here, so what I'll do is I'll just move this text and put it here, and then we can look at this being here, and if that's the case, then we can, if that's going to move up here a bit higher, so I can add that onto the top there, take it off the top here, so we can look at it like this here. So we're going to have, it looks like we can have a long trade setup coming into play here in due course. It's just nice to get the first 5 waves up. At this stage, it appears to be an ABC correction for wave 2, perfect, into the 61.8%. What I want to see now is a clear 5 waves up and an ABC correction, and then we can go long on this as well. So we need to just need to get another session out of this first, just to confirm where we are with this here. So we're not quite ready. Can't push that across there yet anyway. But anyway, not quite ready just yet on that. And Google's much the same as well, Alphabet. So it's you know, it's this, whichever way, this could be counted in a couple of different ways. First of all, even though the price spiked up here, I'm not really considering it as a high. I'm not putting like wave 3 here, do you know? I'm keeping it here because it was a spike. It never really spent time trading up to that point. So I'm just going to put it like this here. So an A wave and a B wave. And then I've got all of this as a C wave down to this point here. I know it's a little bit dodgy, and I know that it can be counted differently as well, but I'm just kind of tuning it in with Amazon as well. And it's a little bit difficult. It doesn't run as smooth as Amazon, so that's why I used Amazon first. But once again, from here, we've got an A and a B and a C correction from here, and would expect a reaction from a major trading level like this here as well. So this is doing all the right things so far as well for a push higher. We just needed a setup. It's currently within group 2 here. I'll just have a look on the tick chart here. Yeah, right. So it's got the same thing as we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to open my gob just yet. That there'll be a setup here. I'll work the setup. The setup just needs to fall into place here. It's just not here yet. But this would be a normal reaction from this level here. I just want to see a bit more of this. I want to see if this... I always wait for the first move down to confirm itself. I want to see if it's in 3 waves or 5 waves, because then I know what's going to happen next. I don't want to go into the guessing game as such. So I'll just leave this, but it's in the same shape as Amazon, and Amazon's got a better pattern, a clearer pattern at the moment. All right, I'm going to leave it at that because the video's sort of moved on a little bit in terms of time. But yeah, that's how we're looking at things at the moment. Cheers.